Okay, what's up, guys? I'm making this video for everyone switching from CFDs to futures. It's called Futures Trading for Newbies, and it's specifically for those who have used my sign up link with Traderify or FundedNix, or use my code JoshJ with Traderify. I'm just sending this out to everyone that has, instead of me just like replying to DMs all day long, taking up a lot of time out of my day, to just be explaining it through like DMs. So obviously, I can make a whole video on why futures is far superior over CFDs, but I don't want to bore you guys. But let's go over contracts, right? I feel like you guys are a bit confused on contracts and sizing. Contracts are an agreement to buy or sell a specific asset at a set price with a fixed contract size and tick value, right? Now, futures contracts is basically you saying you're going to buy a specific amount in the future, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like when you buy the contract, it's like you signing, you're going to buy it in the future, basically. You guys get what I mean? But let's go over the sizing, right? You get minis and micros, bro. So minis are 10 times more than micros, bro. It's 10x. So 1 mini is equal to 10 micros. 2 minis, 20 micros. 3 minis, 30 micros, so on and so on. Now, obviously, you don't have to just risk like 30 micros. It doesn't have to be. You can risk 27 micros, 17, 6, 7. But anyways, mini is known as NQ for NASDAQ and ES for S&P 500. And micro is known as MNQ for micro NASDAQ and MES for micro S&P 500, right? So let's go over the contract specs for ES and NQ. So NQ, right? The tick size is 0.25 because 4 ticks make up 1 point, because 0.25 times 4 equals 1. So this is basically like 0.25 points. You know what I mean? So 4 times 25 equals 1 point. And then the tick value is 5 because 5 times 4 equals 20. Remember ticks, it's 4 ticks per point. So 5 times 4 equals 20. So it's $20 per point for NQ. Meaning, if you have a 50 point take profit or 50 point stop loss, you'll be risking 1,000 or basically making $1,000, right? On ES, the tick size is exactly the same. It's 4 ticks per point. So 4 ticks make up 1 point. The tick value is, however, $12.50 per tick. So $12.50 times 4 is $50, right? You guys get the gist. So a 10 point move or stop loss on ES would equal to $500, right? $500 risk or $500 take profit, 10 points on ES. Now MNQ, right, is basically 10 times less, like I said. So tick size is still the same, it's 0.25 per tick. And then the tick value is 50 cents or $0.5, right? So $0.5 times 4, because remember it's 4 ticks to make up 1 point, equals $2 per point. It's 10 times less than NQ, right? 22. You guys know math, bro. Come on. So it's 10 times less. So 50 point move or 50 point stop loss on MNQ micros would be $100 risk or $100 take profit. Same goes for micro S&P 500 MES. The tick size is 0.25. The tick value, however, is 10 times less than ES over here. So it's $1.25 per tick value, and then this times 4 to make up 1 point equals $5, which is 10 times less than 50. Quite simple. So 10 point move or 10 point stop loss with 1 micro ES contract would equate to $50. So let's go over now how to calculate risk, right? Risk and how to calculate risk. You can either go automatic way, which is this website, metrotrade.com/futures position sales calculator, which looks like this. So if you want to risk $500 on MNQ, right, or NQ, with a 30 point stop loss, you click MNQ. It's $2. Remember, MNQ is $2 per point and NQ is 20, so it's going to be 2. Your count size $50,000. You can either go percentage to risk 1%, which still is $500, or you can go dollar amount and then click a $500 risk. Stop loss in points. So your stop loss, you can look on TradingView or whichever platform you use. It normally shows your stop loss size in points. So it's going to be 30-point stop loss. Calculate. It's telling you to open up 8 micro contracts to risk $500 on a 30-point stop loss. So let's go over to the manual way on how to do it. So this applies for mostly Project X platform, because there's no automatic one built in like TradingView. So same example actually. I'll use the 30-point stop loss as an example, risking $500. Same over here. It comes out to 0.83, which is 8 micros. And to do the calculations, you take your dollar amount you want to risk, divide that by your point value. So it's $20 per point for NQ. This is point value, and then divide by stop loss in size in points. Same goes here. Let's say we want to use a 20-point stop loss, risking $700 on NQ. You take $700 first, your dollar risk, divide by 20 for NQ, right? And then divide by 20-point stop loss equals 1.75 minis, and you can't get 1.75 minis, which means you have to use micros. So it's either 17 or 18 micros, right? It's the same formula, always dollar amount you want to risk first, the point value, and then the stop loss size. ES, right? Same goes here. 30-point stop loss in ES, and you're trying to risk $500. $500 divided by 50, because remember, 1 point on ES is 50, and 1 point on NASDAQ is 20. So you use the point value. So 500 divided by 50 and then divided by 30 for stop loss is 0.3, which is 3 micros. A whole number would obviously be minis. And then a 20-point stop loss, risking $700, right, is 700 divided by 50, because ES is always going to be 50. So when calculating risk on NQ, your second value over here, if you manually calculate, will always be 20, and ES will always be 50. The only thing that changes is your dollar risk and your stop loss. So 700 divided by 50 divided by 20 is 0.7, which is 7 micros. So let's say you get a value like 1.9. You can either use 19 micros or 2 minis. If you get a value like 1.1 or 0.9, you can either size down or up and make it 1 mini, so you can enter on 1 mini instead of 10 micros. So yeah, you can obviously enter, like I said, with 15 micros, 17. Yeah, but let's just say if you want to use, if your stop loss calculation or risk calculation comes out to like 2.9, let's say, you can might as well round up to 3 minis. Am I right? So this is basically, I went over what contracts are, what minis and micros, the difference is between minis and micros. I went over the contract specs, and then here now how to calculate your contracts, right? So that's all done. And I'll show you guys how to basically sign into TraderVate, how to activate TradingView, and then sign into TradingView, okay? So let's go to TraderVate, right? TraderVate. So usually, whichever platform you choose would email you your login credentials, or you could find that on your dashboard. So what you're going to do, you go to tradervate.com, you log in over here, right? You get your username that the platform sent, and you get your password that the platform sent. You click login. Okay, here you'd have simulation and you'd have live. Okay, click live. So if you go here, simulated. This is an old account that old platform account that I had with Traderify. I'm using this as an example. So when you're on here, right, you can obviously trade on here. But if you want to activate TradingView, click on the top right over here, settings. Go to add-ons over here, add-ons, right. Then go over here to TradingView and then click enable. So you'll enable it on TraderVate first, and then you go to tradingview.com. Go to NQ. So always NQ or ES. So let's go NQ. Boom, boom. Launch NQ, right? Then over here, you click on the top right, trade. Then you click on TraderVate and you use the same login details that the platform gave you, and you log in. Okay. Right now I don't have an account. I'll get one later tonight. But you log in with TraderVate, and then you'll be basically set to go and trading on TradingView. But I'll just use paper trading, which is demo, as an example. So if you're trading on TradingView, you can just click your tool, boom. Let's say it's a 20-point stop loss, for example. If you want to go long here, you add this tool, right? And then you click on it and you click over here, boom, and then this is where your order comes up. So it automatically puts a stop loss and a take profit for you based on this tool. And then here you add your units. Let's say you know risk one contract, and it says it'll be $998. To risk one contract. Then just click buy, and then you're set to go. Right? If you don't do that, you can obviously add limits like sell or buy limit. Let's say you want to go long below on this flipping. Technically, it's a CISD. You just go here, buy limit, boom, and then you add it, and then you can add your stop loss and then take profit. So it's quite simple, and yeah, honestly, guys, futures is the best and the way to go. If you guys have any questions, those who have access to this video, you can just DM me and I'll definitely reply to you guys. So thanks for watching, man.